Finn, do you want to go through all the books with us? Phineas. He really doesn't like the camera. But the thing is, like, the camera loves you. Yeah. So you should help go and show us all the books. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rochelle. I have a disability and I also really love books, specifically really pretty books. And so with that being said, we are going to be doing a book haul today. I know I've done book hauls quite a few times here on this channel and I'm trying to limit how many I do. However, sales tend to really get me, especially if there's sales on Book Outlet, which has a lot of easier to buy books, especially if you want to buy them in bulk. And by the way, this video is not sponsored. All these books are purchased with my own money. I just really like to find sales to purchase books because they really do help our wallets a little bit at the end of the day, especially if you have a book buying problem like I do. So with that being said, let's get started and go through the huge pile of books that I have been stocking up throughout the month of September. So first one I have is Immortal Dark by Tigest Girma, and this is actually her debut novel. I always have a problem saying debut because in Tagalog there's a thing called the debut, which is your coming of age when you turn 18. So I always get mixed up with that word and can't pronounce it correctly. So I'm sorry if you're like, Rochelle, you're not saying that right, because I know I struggle with that word. But anyway, this is her debut novel and it has to do with vampires, and the vampires are black. It also has these lovely sprayed edges, which I heard is actually the normal edition of this book all the way around. So if you're worried that you're not going to get a cool copy like this, don't be worried, because I think this is the norm for most of the books that are released. But it says, no soul can enter without an invitation. And then on the top, a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. And I really like this old school, like, library card look to this right here. It's so neat, and I'm really excited to go and pick this one up. It also says, seek mind above blood, and if you must bleed, use it as ink. I mean, this book is so creepy looking, and I've heard a lot of really good things about it. A lot of people enjoyed reading it, and yeah, the fact that it has representation in it made me really excited to pick it up. I think this also will work for a prompt for a different board that I'd like to do, but that will be for a later video, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But yeah, first book for the haul. And then this one I actually got from TikTok Shop, and I just wanted to show you the cool picture on the outside of it. It's so pretty. I do feel bad about opening this package, so maybe I'll see if I can like save the picture because it is really pretty. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can go and cut around this later because this is beautiful and I don't want it to go to waste. But right away we have this lovely paper on the outside, and then it looks like we have some pictures there, so I'm gonna take that out. Okay, so we got some stickers with the characters. And so there's this one. I'm assuming this is the male, or the lead main characters. I don't know if you can see that. Oof. Sorry, I'm so bad at this. Do it like that. I also don't have my glasses on, so that is not helping. It's like, it's already blurry and I can't see, so that helps nothing. Oh, it's like a little dark mushroom kid. That looks so cool. Also, my nails are a little bit chipped, but let's have a moment for my nails because they're the magnetic ones by Mooncat, and I love how fun these colors are. Anyway, focus, Rochelle. And then, ooh, it's like a little gothic creepy kid. Really like that. I'm really hoping you're able to see all these because I can't guarantee that you are. And then this is the bookmark for the book, so that's really cool. It says, Betrothed to the Zombie Prince. And then Gentry, Lee, Burke, rekindle your magic. So got a little handy dandy bookmark there. And then it looks like a few images. I don't know if these are images of the character in the book. Maybe. And then another image of kind of what was on the package. And then another image of the main characters. That's really cool. Maybe I don't need to salvage the image that's on the package. We'll see. Betrothed to the Zombie Prince by Gentry Burke, and it has these beautiful edges on the side. Like I said, I got this from the TikTok shop. I was very curious about it because, as you know, I love zombies. I'm a huge zombie fan. I love apocalyptic things, dystopians, stuff like that. I know I'm weird. Like, when you look at me, you don't think that I would like dark stuff or horror or anything creepy like that, but I do. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But yeah, I'm not a fan of romances usually, but when I heard the title for this, it's like, all right, hold up, we're gonna go and add it to my cart in the TikTok shop and check it out. But it says it's a dark and peculiar Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I'll just read like the first part of the synopsis up here just so that you can get a look into it as well. But it says, in a world overrun by the undead where chaos and fear reign, a strange and enchanting love story unfolds, blending the apocalyptic horror of a zombie invasion with the timeless charm of Beauty and the Beast. I mean, that just sounds amazing. I don't usually like romances anymore, but now that I'm a part of the Phantom of the Opera readathon and romance books do get us extra points, I have been reading a little bit more romance and I'm not disliking it as much as I did in the past, so that is quite nice. But yeah, I'm very intrigued for this one. I love zombies and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I mean, it checks off a lot of boxes for me, so I will let you know how this book is. But yeah, I got it from the TikTok shop. This one is from Amazon. All right, and this one I actually saw on Darling Desi's page and I was like, I need to get this copy. I need to get this book. It is so beautiful. It's called Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. It says, believing in yourself is its own kind of magic. And I mean, the cover of this is just gorgeous. I love the art on the cover, and there's a cute little cat, bookshelves. Like, this would be my ideal setup for my office space. Like, it screams me, not even gonna lie. But yeah, it says, in the spellbinding, warm and cozy debut novel, a burned out witch will need to turn to her friends and trust herself to find the magic in her own life. That just sounds so cozy, and I feel like this would be such a great book to pick up during the fall. And it looks like the main character's name is Belladonna Blackthorn, which is interesting. It's different. I really like it. So yeah, we will see how this one is, but just wanted to show it to y'all. She is gorgeous and also kind of my color scheme. I usually love wearing mustard sweaters during the fall time. It's one of my favorite colors to go to. So yeah. Next package. So this one is actually from Book Outlet. I have a bigger package that will open up towards the end, but it seems like they ended up going and splitting the package into two things. So that's why this one is separate from everything else. But it's called Mayumu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it says Filipino American Desserts Remixed by Abi Balingit, and I think that's the picture of them on the back. Sweets that taste like home. I was instantly captivated by this book because, as you know, I am part Filipino and I love Filipino desserts. I've been craving them even more recently. I don't know if it's because of the fall or just feeling nostalgic for some of the dishes that my mom would go and make. But yeah, I was really curious about this and wanted to pick it up to take a look at it and maybe make some recipes here in the future. Let's see if I can find one. Ooh, so this one is the Ube Makapuno molten lava cakes, and there's a picture of it on this side. Oh, ube's kind of like a purple potato type of thing, I believe, and it's one of my favorite things, and it makes me so excited because I feel like a lot of places are starting to pick up more ube things, and I'm just like, you know what, I gotta try all of them. I feel like I need to take this book back home with me because we're gonna be going to a wedding and it's in my hometown, so we're gonna be staying with my parents, and I feel like my mom needs to take a look at this book. She might have a lot of fun with it. D-book for one. We didn't really have this one all that much, but I believe my aunt in Texas makes some really good tibok, if that's what it's called. Tibok is a Kapampangan pudding traditionally made with carabao milk and topped with latik or toasted coconut curds. Yeah, I believe this is one of the ones that my aunt makes, and it's so delicious. Peach mango cheesecake toron. So this is kind of like a dessert egg roll, and my mom would make something like this very infrequently, and she had it with bananas, and it was so good. And I was always sad because she would always make it for my friends to take home, but she'd never make it for us, or very rarely would make it for us. And then there's actually an ube skillet crinkle cookie. I'm sorry if I'm making y'all hungry right now. I know I'm for sure getting hungry. Hi, baby. But look at that. Holy crap. Okay, so this looks so good. I got it from Book Outlet. I'll show y'all what I'm dealing with on this side. Nugs. He has a ribbon. You're welcome for that random footage that got us distracted. But yeah, so that is this book. I had to show y'all a few recipes because honestly I couldn't wait until the end of this haul to look through it myself. So I'm glad that we took a moment to look at some of the pictures. Ooh, okay, so this one is from Litjoy Crate, and I believe I know what this one is. Oh, I am wrong. This was not what I thought it was. So this one is, I can't read it as clearly, but it's Fablehaven, Rise of the Evening Star. So Fablehaven is actually a book that I read, or a book series that I read growing up, and I want to say like a few months ago, if not the beginning of the year, I was kind of thinking about that book series again and how I wanted to reread them, because I think I only got the chance to read the first couple of books. And it was at that time that Litjoy actually announced that they were going to be releasing these books with redesigned covers and end pages and everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and buy them through them. So I think every couple of months they release a new one of the books in the series. And so there's this one. It's kind of a little bit difficult to see, but it's leather, and it has a few of the characters from it. It also has these gold edges and then these end pages. And the end pages on the back. But yeah, I'm very excited to go and read these. And it has a cute little fairy on the last page. I can't remember which one this is. This might be book 3. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I'm very excited to get the books in this. I think I'm at 3 books out of the series so far, and they just announced the 4th book, I think, a few weeks ago. So that will be the next one I will be getting. But yeah, I'm very excited to get these books. Fablehaven is kind of this, from what I remember, it's about these kids that go to live with their family member, and they don't know the family member all that well. And they're kind of told, like, you can go and wander around, but be careful to do certain things. And I forget which character did it, if it was the younger sibling or the older sibling, but they drink this milk and suddenly see all these fantasy creatures in front of them that took on the appearance of, you know, like a butterfly. Suddenly the butterfly is actually a fairy, and all these different creatures. And I just remember devouring through these books because of the worlds that they created and just the whimsiness that was there. So like I said, I'm very excited to reread this book series, but I probably won't do so until I get all of them in the series, so I can binge them all without having to go and wait for the next one to come out. And then we have another Litjoy one. Okay, so this is the one that I was thinking of. Alright, so the next one from Litjoy is Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. As you know, I have not actually read The Phantom of the Opera before, but it's one of my favorite stories, especially the musical. Anytime I had the chance, I usually tried to go and see it. I have seen it now, I think, a total of 3 times, give or take. possibly. I think 3 times. I might be misremembering. But yeah, so every time I'm able to see a different version of the cover, I usually try to go and purchase them, and I've been collecting them as I've gone. So this is the one that came out recently with LitJoy, and it has these sprayed edges and has the chandelier on the back. And then, yeah, just some more of the chandelier here. And same chandelier on the back. Yeah, she is just gorgeous. I am so excited to read this book whenever that happens. Will I keep collecting editions until then? Yes. There's like these really pretty images throughout the book too. Ooh. I did not know about that, but now I'm even more excited. Ooh, hang on, I saw another one. Oh my god. Masquerade. Oh, she is stunning. This might be one of my top editions that I have so far. Okay, and then this is the last one through LitJoy. Oh, this one might actually be the first. Okay, so this one is the first Fablehaven book, and it has fairies on the cover. I got mixed up, so I think the other one that we opened up was actually the second and not the third. But has fairies on the inside. And then I think these were the naiads. I think that's what they were called in these. But yeah, I'm so excited to go and pick up this series and read them again. The colors will look really cool when they're all together. I don't normally pick up leather books, but this series was an exception. All right, and then the next book I got was from Barnes & Noble, and it is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I have not read this book. I know I'm far behind on a lot of hyped up books, but I decided that when this one came out, I was like, you know, I don't really have a preference in what edition I have, but this was coming out in paperback and it had dragons on the side, so I was like, okay, that seems like a pretty good one to have in my collection. And as you might have seen, I have recently started a series where I am reading books that are viral to share my thoughts on, is this book worth the hype, is it not worth the hype? And I did one recently for Belladonna, so I'll share it up here. But yeah, I figured this would be a good book to go and add to that series and try to read. I know a lot of people loved the first book and weren't as wild about the second book, so yeah, we can go and pick them up and give them a try. But this is the edition that I have now on my bookshelf. And then the last box is from Book Outlet, so I'm very excited for this one. I ended up going and using their sale where I think it was like buy a couple books, get the next one 50% off. And I am trying to stop buying books, especially since there's something exciting that will be coming up and changing a lot of things. So I'm trying to limit the amount of books that I purchase, especially ordering. Whew, okay. I was a little bit nervous about how books would look in this package because when it arrived at our house, it kind of seemed like it exploded a little bit and was like pushed up. So yeah, I was like, are they gonna be in good shape or not? But yeah, okay. Enough of me babbling. Let's go through all the books. So I have There's No Way I Die First by Lisa Springer. It says, tag your it. I believe this is a character that is obsessed with horror and then suddenly gets in some sort of horror situation. I don't know if she's at a Halloween party or something like that, but yeah, then suddenly she's trying to go and survive in it. It says, the key to surviving a scary movie is to recognize that you're living in one. This just sounds so cool, especially for October. I've been rewatching Scream on Max, and yeah, it's just really getting me in the mood for anything horror and Halloween-like. I have In the Company of Witches by Auralee Wallace. I believe I saw Katie actually read this book, and I decided to put it on my list because it's kind of like a cozy witchy read, and that just screamed the fall. I also have an idea to use this book for a future video. So when I was able to find this on Book Outlet, I was like, you know what, let's go and pick this up. And it's like perfect size book for my hands, not gonna lie. This one has like some slight damage, like just a little bit of bending on it, but it's Witchful Thinking by Celestine Martin, A Match Made in Magic. Love is the trickiest spell of all. I just have really been wanting to pick up a lot more witchy reads, especially if they're by BIPOC authors. And this one was in my Amazon cart, and I happened to find it on Book Outlet as well. So I was like, you know what, let's go and pick it up because I'll save money buying it there instead. And then I have The Buried and the Bound by Rochelle Hassan. And this one I also picked up for another video idea I have in the future. So I have a lot of video ideas, but I'm trying to get a certain amount of books before I do it. So if you're interested in seeing what I have in mind for some of the books I'm showing in this haul, I definitely leave a subscribe to my channel because what I have in mind is hopefully going to be a lot of fun. So I wouldn't want to miss out on that. But yeah, it says, as the only hedge in Blackthorn, Massachusetts, an uncommonly magical place, Aziza El Amin has bargained with wood nymphs, rescued palm-sized fairies from house cats, and banished flesh-eating shadows from the local park. But when a dark entity awakens in the forest outside of town, eroding the boundary between the human world and fairyland, run-of-the-mill fae mischief turns into outright aggression. I don't really know too much about what this book is about, but like I said, I have something in mind for this, and I'm very excited to go and pick it up when that happens. Then I have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna, and it's a warm and witchy hug of a book. Like I said, I wanted to pick up a lot of witchy reads, and I want to say that someone recently commented in one of my videos, or commented back somewhere, where I should read this book, and I was like, I have this coming in the mail, so I will finally get the chance to read this. I know this book was talked a lot about when it first came out, so finally I will get the chance to go and read it, and I couldn't be more excited. I have Plague Town by Dana Fredsti, and people are dying, then they are waking up hungry. I don't know too much about this book. It kind of has the older book style that came out for, I'm trying to remember the name of the series. I think it's the Morganville Vampires, but it has similar art on this book, and I don't know why. It just felt so nostalgic, and as it had to do with zombies, I was like, you know what, we'll pick it up. This also has incredibly tiny text on it, and I feel like depending on how good the book is, it either will take a while to read or might be really quick to go through. And unfortunately, it's one of those books where I probably will be breaking the spine for. It looks like the spine is already partially started on being broken, so this will be one of those books that I won't be able to keep in pristine condition. And then I have Ruby Spencer's Whisky Year by Rochelle Bilow. Now, you might already have a little bit of an indication after another book that I mentioned on what a future series will be, or a future video, I mean. So if you have any ideas, I'm definitely interested. Leave a comment down below. But it says, when a 30-something American food writer moves to a Scottish village for 1 year to fulfill her dreams of writing a cookbook, she finds more than inspiration. She meets a handsome Scotsman she can't resist in this charming debut romance. And then I have Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. I actually don't think I've read any books by Paul Tremblay before, but he has popped up on my radar a few times, especially because one of his books was made into a movie recently, which was The Cabin at the End of the World. But I think this one is more apocalyptic in a way. Yeah, okay, so it says, Massachusetts has been overrun by an insidious virus that is spread by saliva. Those infected, both animals and humans, quickly lose their minds and are driven to bite and infect as many others as they can before they die or are killed. I am very excited for this one as well. Oh, and it doesn't look too thick either, so it could be really easy to get through. I'm also seeing some pages are like a darker gray compared to others, so I want to know what that means, what that's about. You know, sometimes when you pick up a book just because it mentions one of your favorite things, that's kind of what this book purchase was for. So it's Love, Chai, and Other Four-Letter Words by Annika Sharma. I love chai. Chai is one of my favorite things. Like I made the viral Taylor Swift chai cookies, but I actually messed it up and made my own version, which I think probably tastes much better than the recipe that others have said to use for hers. So I might make that at some point for y'all. But yeah, so I picked up this book because it has chai in it, and it just looks like it's such a cute book to go and read. It says she's determined to be the perfect daughter until she meets the perfect guy. Ooh, okay. This kind of seems like some cultural stuff and not going after the guy that your parents have in mind. I'm interested. Like I said, this Phantom Readathon has me wanting to read more romance books, so that might be something that we end up having more of in the future. Speaking of the Phantom of the Opera Readathon, I got Roseblood by A.G. Howard. This is actually a book I remember seeing years ago, and I had it on my radar, but then I was like, you know, I don't think I really want to read it. But then I saw it pop up again with it being a Phantom of the Opera retelling. I was like, you know what? No. We're going to add it back to my list. And it was a lot cheaper on Book Outlet to go and get, so I was like, you know what? Let's get this. So it says her greatest talent is also her greatest curse. I think I've seen mixed reviews for this book as well, but as it is also a Phantom of the Opera retelling, I had to go and get it because it needed to be a part of my collection. I don't write the rules here. And then we have Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, and this book has been one that lots of people have been talking about for the longest time. I believe this is also the one, yeah, okay, so this is the one that also has a different title where it's the Crimson Moth. So this one is basically this character ends up going and rescuing a bunch of witches and has to go and pretend that she's someone else so that this person does not kill her, and she's able to continue rescuing these people. And so many people really loved this book, raved about it, talked about how easy and quick of a read it was. So I'm glad I'll finally get the chance to go and check it out myself. And I have Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry. Getting lost in a story can be deadly. So I think with this one, it was kind of like a story within a story within a story type of thing. And I remember someone was recommending this book, especially for thrillers, and I really wanted to check it out myself. I also love the way the cover feels. I don't know, there's something very satisfying about that. It does have a good flop as well, so I can't wait to read this one. This one is In the Shadow Garden by Liz Parker, and this one was kind of one of those purchases just based off of how beautiful the cover is, but it's also apparently very witchy as well. It says the richly atmospheric and luminous debut of 3 generations of women whose magic is as much a part of life as love, death, and the rich dark earth beneath their feet. It's kind of giving practical magical. It's kind of giving practical magic vibes, and I'm definitely here for it. It's one of my all-time favorite stories. Not so much the book, but very much the movie. So this will definitely bring the energy that I really want to have in October. And then I have The Spite House by Johnny Compton. And this one was actually recommended by Wicked Reading, Sarah, if you're not familiar with her. And I really love watching a lot of the books that she recommends and she talks about. And when she talked about this one, I was very interested and wanted to pick it up immediately. This also does qualify for one of the spots on her bingo board. So I think I will be reading this one within the next few months or so. Then I have Something is Killing the Children, and this is volume 1. My book bestie, aka Once Upon a Bookish Steph, loves this graphic novel series so much, and I wasn't able to go and pick up the first book because it wasn't at Fan Expo when we went there. I think all the other books in the series were, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. It's very creepy, very dark. Obviously someone is taking the children and killing them, so we know what to expect going into this. But let me show y'all some pictures of the art styles. My tummy just gurgled. But yeah, I'm very excited to go and read this one and finally get a chance to check it out myself. Oh, this one. Okay, so most of the books that I get from Book Outlet are definitely a hit. They're all in good quality, good condition. But then every now and then we do get a few that are kind of ruined in some way. I feel like with hardback books, this has happened more often for me. So this one, I think, just wasn't folded properly. But it's The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste. And I've really wanted to read this one and have had it on my radar for a while. It says, weaponize your love, use it to protect you and those in your heart. It makes you brave to some and a monster to others, but not all monsters are monstrous. That sounds so cool. And I love the art style on the cover. Like, she's stunning. And it just looks like she has pink cover and then purple on the inside. So then I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is another book that a lot of people have raved about and have hyped up. I have mostly been interested by this book and the series because it has been compared to Criminal Minds. So Criminal Minds is one of my all-time favorite shows. I have not finished it though because I am the kind of person where I get very attached to certain characters, and as you know, if you've watched that series, after a while some characters have been filtered out and changed around, and I kind of lost interest after Hotch was taken off of the show and other people were brought in, and I do want to go and pick it back up again. I don't know if I'll insert clips or not, but one thing that I find really funny is my first cat, Finn, who you might have seen earlier. When I first adopted him from the rescue, all the videos that I have of him have the Criminal Minds theme song playing in the background. So I'm very much a Criminal Minds nerd. A lot of the earlier seasons, I could probably tell you which episode you're watching just by seeing a few glimpses and giving you an idea of like what that entire episode's about. But yeah, I really wanted to go and pick up the series finally and check it out. Unfortunately, they only had one book available, but if they had others, I probably would have went and purchased all of them so that I can easily run through the whole series and finish it as quickly as possible. But yeah, very excited to finally go and see this series. And then the last book I will be talking about is actually a book that I was waiting to arrive from Amazon because I pre-ordered it, but it's still not here, and I'm kind of running out of deadline for when I need to get this video filmed. Not really a deadline made by anyone else besides myself, but yeah, I wanted to get it done. So anyway, I will go and insert an image of the book here. It is The Solstice Court by Jade Juniper. I actually did read this one as an ARC, and I loved it so much that I had to go and get myself a physical copy. Unfortunately, the physical copy is not here, but it did just release, I believe, yesterday, which was a Friday, and I can't remember what the date was, but I'll insert here as well. But yeah, this one kind of follows a reluctant heir as she's a kiddo and aging up. There are warring kingdoms, and basically this treaty is signed where she can't show any feelings or she can't be partial to any of the sons in either kingdom. Otherwise, their treaty will break and then the wars will affect her kingdom as well. And there's a magic system for each one of these kingdoms, and I just found the whole concept of this story so fascinating. You do get to go and see the point of view from different characters as well, but what I loved more than anything was just getting to watch them all grow up. So seeing the treaty put into place before these kids really know what's going on, before they're of age, and then as they grow up and their understanding of the environment around them and their decisions in how they can impact others, especially Kezira, who is the sole heir of the kingdom that could make these decisions whether or not the treaty breaks. There's also some platonic friendships, which I really thought was very sweet. And then the ending of the book was just so wild that I honestly needed 3 to 5 business days. And I even messaged the author and I was like, I'm still recovering from the ending of this book and I can't wait to read the next one. So, you know, that will give a little indication of what my thoughts are for that book. But it also is on Kindle Unlimited. So if you wanted to check it out there, that is available for you as well. And I think I need to wrap up this video. Luckily, we just got through all the books because I'm getting a little bit of shakes and I do need to go and eat. But yeah, if you liked this book haul, any of the books that I went and showed to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, especially if you read any of these and want me to push them up higher on my TBR. But yeah, with that being said, I'm so glad I finally got to show y'all all of these books, and hopefully we don't have too big of a book haul again in the future. But if we do, you know I'm going to be excited about it. So I'm going to wrap this up here and say that I want you all to remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. I love you all and can't wait to hang out with you all again. Bye.